Now we move on to another one of my favorite Rising Force / Yngwie Malmsteen albums. This one's a little bit less good than Trilogy, but this one is still amazing. We have Odyssey. Odyssey's a very interesting album because it kind of shows the band going a little bit more for that hair metal direction, but still retaining a lot of awesome, heavy speed metal attributes and some great power metal stuff. Now, this album came out in 1988, and the artwork is interesting. It's another kind of generic Yngwie artwork, kind of like Marching Out, but this time it's like, oh, he's a great guitarist, but he has feelings too. It looks like a hair metal solo album. I don't mind it though. I kind of like the blue lettering and shit. I just wish they had picked something cool like a volcano erupting for the song Krakatawa or something. There's a lot of stuff that went down before this album. So like I said, Yngwie's manager was stealing a lot of his money, and then Mark Bowles realized that Yngwie wasn't paying him, not giving him songwriting credit, so he walked out mid-tour and they had to get Jeff Scott Soto in, and then he just fired Jeff Scott Soto again. And then Yngwie was also going through a horrible divorce, and then also his mansion was destroyed from an earthquake. The last thing that could bring back his career, his guitar playing, was even put in jeopardy. Because he was in a horrible car accident, and he hit a tree so fiercely he pretty much died for a little bit, and they were able to resuscitate him. But he had to go through like months and months and months and months and months of physical therapy just to even like pick up a guitar and possibly play, but he was too afraid to even play. But Yngwie is such a badass that he was able to recover, and he sounded more fierce and powerful than ever. This is one of Yngwie's absolute best performances on any album. It's not necessarily his technically most proficient, diverse, crazy album with guitar playing, but it sounds his most fierce, his most polished, it sounds his most angriest, and his most energetic on any album. And for this awesome album, he got one of my other favorite metal vocalists. He was in Rainbow in the early 80s and joined Deep Purple later on the road, Joe Lynn Turner. This guy definitely has a different vocal style than Mark Bowles. He's a lot less high and more gruff, low-register vocals, and he sounds amazing for this type of music. Oh, and Bob Daisley actually plays bass on a couple of the songs in this album. So we get into the first amazing song, the title for the band. They should have put this on like the first album or something, but it's still an amazing song. They pretty much open all their shows with this song. The song is Rising Force. The build to it's so epic with like this amazing keyboard work and chanting. When we finally get to that main riff, it's so epic and chugging, and then Joe Lynn Turner comes in and does these incredible low gruff vocals that kind of remind me a little bit of M. Shadows from Avenged Sevenfold, but way better. He basically has the same gruff tone, especially in that chorus. He sounds really great. That crack in the night, it kind of sounds like Matt Shadows. One of my favorite Rising Force songs by far. Then we have a really melodic, kind of slower song, but not necessarily ballady, but just kind of more hair metal sounding song called Hold On. This one has some really beautiful vocals from Joe Lynn Turner, and the riffs in there are great, especially in the chorus. The melodies in there are absolutely memorable and super catchy, and the guitar solo in there is really awesome. Even though it's a little bit poppy, it's definitely amazing. And speaking of poppy songs, we have the song Heaven Tonight next. And this one is considered a glammy hair metal type of song because it's really catchy and poppy, but I still think it's awesome. The chorus is really catchy, and Joe Lynn Turner sounds really great throughout it. And there's amazing guitar work in there too for a frickin' hair metal song. Then we have the song Dreaming, in parentheses Tell Me, which is like the ballad on the album. And this is one of my favorite Yngwie ballads. It actually works really well, especially because of Joe Lynn Turner's amazing voice. The melodic guitar playing there is so amazing, and that chorus is so incredible. You hear Joe hit these awesome high notes. And he just definitely steals this whole song. This is the whole reason why I love this song so much. I don't think any other vocalist except maybe Mark Bowles that played with Yngwie could have pulled off this song as well. Then we have the short instrumental, Bite the Bullet, and this one is awesome. It's super speed metal-y, and it's pretty much just a build-up for the next song, but it's a minute and a half of pure awesome. I just wish the instrumental was longer. That's my only problem with it. Other than that, incredible little instrumental. Then we have one of my favorite songs of the album, Ride in the Dungeon, and this one shows off Yngwie's this song is pretty much about Yngwie's obsession with LARPing and shit. He's super into Dungeons and Dragons and role-playing and stuff, so this is his song. The song is speeding all the way through, and Jolyn Turner's vocals on here are super, super fierce. And that awesome guitar and keyboard harmony that they play throughout the song is absolutely amazing, and especially sounds incredibly energetic in the chorus. When Joe's saying, "Riot in the dungeon," they do the crazy melodic part. And guitar solo in there is still awesome too. Then we hit another incredible song, maybe one of the other best songs off the album, Deja Vu. And I like this one a lot more than Iron Maiden's Deja Vu. This one starts with like a really crazy, awesome, dirty sounding riff. Then we get to this really, really melodic verse where we have this awesome, epic riff, and then Jolyn Turner sings these incredible high notes over it. Then Joe sings these amazing vocal melodies over top of it, and I think this is probably his best vocal performance on the entire album. Then we get to this really epic part where Joe's hitting these incredible high notes building up for this epic chorus. He's saying, "You know who I am, and you don't understand." Then we get to that chorus, super melodic and epic, and then the end of it, Joe hits this amazing high note, which goes right back into that crazy riff. Maybe my favorite song off the album. Then we have a really, really catchy song called Crystal Ball. The main riffs of this song, especially in the verse, are very grooving and cool for like a hair metal song. But then we get to that chorus, which is super, super melodic, and it sounds a lot like any other kind of really good 80s metal song. And Joe sounds amazing in the chorus. Then we have the weakest song off the album, the filler, Now's the Time, which is weird because it starts with like the awesomest intro off the whole album with this great keyboard sort of solo from Jens. And we get these amazing riffs, and then all of a sudden it goes into this weird sort of bluesy song, and Jolyn Turner sounds really weird on the verse. And the chorus is just a little bit generic. It sounds like Joe is just mailing it in, and Yngwie's mailing it in with the guitar riffs and stuff. But that intro and the guitar solo is definitely cool. Then we have another one of my favorite songs, Faster Than the Speed of Light. And this one is about Yngwie getting into that car accident that almost killed him. And it's about his, driving that sports car and stuff and being so into that stuff. This song is fast all the way through. The drumming is absolutely incredible on it. Jolyn Turner sounds amazing on it, especially in the chorus when he's hitting these great high notes. I think definitely Yngwie shines, especially in this song, because the riffs are just so chaotic and crazy, especially the guitar solo. This whole song is probably the fastest off the entire album. Then we have the song Krakatoa, which is one of my favorite Yngwie instrumentals. It starts a lot different than a lot of Yngwie's epic, awesome, heavy instrumentals, where they start with like crazy sweep picking. This one just kind of starts modestly, where you have some great, catchy, memorable, epic riffs in there, and then it keeps getting more and more and more epic, like a volcanic eruption. And that's what Krakatoa is. It's like this weird way of saying like an eruption. Definitely one of my favorite Yngwie instrumentals. It just keeps getting more and more awesome. Then we have this little closing instrumental, which, like I said, I'm not a big fan of them closing albums with instrumentals, but I think this time they kind of do it right because it's this very melodic, beautiful send-off sort of thing. It sounds very, very Celtic and beautiful. So it almost sounds like something that'd be like in Lord of the Rings. So that's Odyssey, and I definitely give this album even like a tiny bit more of a boost in rating because Yngwie recovered from the absolute worst circumstances to put out this absolutely monolith of an album that only really has one weak song on it.